Once we got the word about Mike Wang telling us that taller builds are going to be more explosive, more valuable, and be able to be usable in NBA 2K26, you should already thought about that 6'6 guard build that has no weaknesses on this game. But I'm going to be showing you multiple versions of the 6'6 build that is all around on NBA 2K26. With one of them being with a high three-pointer, one of them having high middy, also having a nice driving layup as well. Now for the first build, I'm going to make sure I put the physicals up first. Now with my physicals, I'm going to make sure that this build can end up getting a 78 vertical. Even though this build only needs a 75, I'm going to end up using +2 cap breakers on my finishing to get an 89 driving dunk. You will see in the future. Now usually y'all know I put strength on my build, but for a build like this that's going to be a point guard, you can try to finesse the system with 50. I wanted to get 71. The only way you can get 71 or even 73 for strong handles on gold, you would have to have a lower steal or perimeter. One of those trade-offs, especially when it comes to defense. But for the rest of my physicals, now when it comes to agility, you can stop at 80 agility if you want to. But if you want certain actual motion styles, like say the Jalen Suggs motion style, you need a 84 agility. But if you don't care about that motion style, you want to be good with like Drew Eubanks or something like that, hey, keep it at 80 and you can say those attributes and put them somewhere else. But as of how it's set up now, this is to be able to get all the motion styles possible for builds that's 6'5 to all the way to 6'9. Now when it comes to the finishing on this build, you could definitely rock out with the 89 driver dunk, but hey, if you don't want to grind to 89, just go straight 89. But if you are willing to grind to 89 and you put +2 attributes on there, you can end up getting those pro contact dunks off 1 and 2. Now as me end up doing this, you can end up just stopping at a 70 layup, because most of the time you're going to end up doing meter dunks or even trying to dunk the ball. But knowing the game, you know sometimes you get knocked out in animations, or sometimes you don't get a good animation in general and make you get a layup. So I'm giving you a 75 layup so you can end up getting layup mixer on bronze. Now when it comes to the shooting, this is going to have a high 3-point rating. That's the reason why we have a 6'8 wingspan. Now you can get a 93 pointer. You can go minimum wingspan if you want to get 93. So that means you have a setup similar to like having a 71 pass accuracy, 80 agility, maybe a lower steal or even a lower perimeter on a build like that. Now that we have an 89 3-pointer with an 83 middy, we can put cap breakers on a 3-pointer if we want to get that deep bomber in the future. But when it comes to the ball handle, when we on these 6'6 builds, hey, really the best way to go is 85, 86, or even 90 to 92. In between is kind of pointless. It's between 85 and 86. If you want 86, you get an ankle assassin. If you want 85 to be able to do momentum or the dribble moves basically that you can do on a 6'8, but on a 6'6. Now, if you want other things like handles for days on gold off rip, you're gonna go 90. And when it comes to 92 ball control, that's really to get unpluckable on gold. But so far, we haven't been seeing nothing really crazy as of pluck steals. Mostly if you get bumped or you run into your defender, that's the only time you really lose the ball, or you throw a lane pass. Now, when it comes to the speed with ball, we got an 86 speed with ball, so we get lightning launches on go, which you will max +2 to get legend lightning launches on this build. Now with the pass accuracy, you can push between the 71 or 75 based on what you want to do. But if you want no weaknesses, 75 is the threshold I'm gonna mess with. But when it comes to defense on this 6'6 build, you can go 82 or 83 perimeter. I see a lot of guards going out there for 82 just to get their challenger. 83 gets you pick dodger on silver, and 85 gives you that on-ball menace on silver. Now when it comes to the steals, I told you the on-ball plucks, there's somewhat non-apparent. They're non-existent. So you want to make sure you at least get your interceptor up. Interceptor on silver, interceptor on gold. You can go 85 or you can go 73. You could go in between just to have a better chance to get the actual steal in the lane if you want to go 79. So you don't got to go all the way 85, and you can just use a max +1 or max +2 to end up getting that to Hall of Fame or just gold interceptor. Now with this, I did 85 and 85, so I can end up getting a 68 block for high fly denier on bronze, and then we'll be able to get some chase down blocks here and there on a build like this. Now with you being 6'6", you're able to get contact dunks. You have the ability to have a 93 pointer with having deep bomber in the future if that's what you're looking for, with having a decent mid-range rating to be able to still do dribble pull-ups. And if you end up keeping that agility as it is, you're going to be able to still be able to guard ball. So if you want to be able to guard ball, you will be able to guard ball, especially with having that perimeter and having that agility on a build like this. But when it comes to the specialization on a build like this, you can go so many different ways. Now look, you can end up going with the finishing route, you can go the playmaking route, or you can end up going shooting. That'll be the main few, or you can end up using some of those specialization cap breakers. You don't have to actually put it on the specialization. You can really be just grinding this so you can end up getting the max +1 and max +2, the permanent one, so you'll be able to have the badges you want. But I will lean more towards that dunking if y'all want to get on that rim. Since we're only gonna have an 89 driving dunk, I can get Hall of Fame, posterizer, and things like that, and I could possibly end up getting layup mixer on silver. But when it comes to the shooting, you end up possibly getting set shot specialist on legend, or even get it on Hall of Fame, and then you can end up getting your shifty shooter on Hall of Fame. So you can have both Hall of Fame badges with a 93 pointer, or you can go with playmaking and really go crazy and use your max plus 2 on legend lightning launches, and you can end up putting your handles for days or your unpluckable up so you can get it on go. But for the build, you're going to be called a two-way 3-point slasher that literally has no weaknesses, sitting at 6'6", get set shot specialist on go, lightning launches on go, interceptor on go, and it's a lot of possible ways that you can get these badges on Hall of Fame and really cook up. But now that I just showed you this 6'6" build with the high 3, I'm going to end up showing you 2 other 6'6" builds. These are going to be 6'6" builds that's going to have an 83 3-pointer, but with a higher mid-range, and they're going to end up being a little bit more different than what you just seen. Now, when you see this build, it's a 6'6", 190 with a 6'9" wingspan. Now, both of these builds will end up having a 6'9" wingspan, but if you want to go on the higher 3-point route, you're going to go between 6'6" wingspan to 6'8" wingspan. Now, look, when we making this build, this is more going to be somewhat similar to what we just did, but this is going to have a 89 driving up off rip because we're saving attributes just because we're going to have a higher mid-range than our 3-pointer, and we're going to get the same badges, but actually we're going to get better badges than what we had. As the last build, we didn't get shifty shooter on go off rip. We didn't get that because you need a 91 mid-range or a 91 3-pointer, and the build didn't get a 91 3-pointer. But for the 3-pointer, like I told y'all, we got an 83 3-pointer, and we're gonna end up putting our mid-range up. Now, this is why you finesse jump shots, you'll be able to finesse badges. 89 gets us set shot specialists on gold. 90 doesn't give us anything, 91 gets us shifty shooter on go, 92 gets us deadeye on go, and then 93 ends up getting a set shot specialist on Hall of Fame. Now, when you grind this build, you're going to end up using 2 of your cap breakers on your mid-range, so you get set shot specialists on Hall of Fame, while having all your other shooting badges other than limitless range on go. Now, we're having an 89 drive and dunk, a 92 to 93 mid-range based on how many cap breakers you end up getting, but having an 83 3-pointer that's still viable in this game that you can knock down shots off the dribble or even off the ice, or whatever you want to do. But when it comes to the dribbling, we're going to have an 85 ball control and an 86 speed with ball, the same setup. If you want to end up going in between, like I told you, it's between 85, 86, 90, or 92. 90 and 92 is going to be a little bit more expensive, so if you want to use your max plus 1s and max plus 2 to end up getting that handles for days on Hall of Fame or gold, you can. But just know you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit more if you're going to end up trying to play defense on a build like this, if you go with a 90 ball control and you end up having a steal as well. But when it comes to the steal on this build, you can go between the 73, that 79. But if you don't want to use all those attributes, you can stop at 73, so you still get interceptor on silver. Now, when it comes to the block, 68 block, and then we put our interior up to 65 or 60, and then we could add a little bit more when it comes to our mid-range, so you can end up getting 92. But I'm gonna end up trying to have to get a free throw on this build as well, so we have to finesse a few things. Even if you wanted to get that 75 layup, it was gonna be kind of cooked to try to get it, because I gotta drop my close shot to get 76 since I moved my actual mid-range. Now look, we're gonna end up having a 91 mid-range, we're gonna have an 85 perimeter, 79 steal on this build with a 68 block, 89 drunk for pro contact dunks off 1 and 2 with an 83 3-pointer. We do have free throw, we do have decent pass accuracy on this build to get the job done, get standing dunks. And then when you come to the agility, like I told y'all before, if you don't care about those motion styles or certain ones, just go 80 agility. 80 agility will get you some decent ones, but if you want to try to use Jalen Suggs motion style, you're going to end up going 84 agility with having an 80 speed at least. Now, when it comes to these badges and max plus 1s and max plus 2s, woo, you can really get crazy because you can set shot specialist or shifty shooter and make you, that's your specialization badges that you want to end up max plus 1 or max plus 2, so you can really get in your bag, like really get in your bag. Now that I just showed you this one with a low 3-pointer high mid-range, this is a different one. This is a 6'6" that has a 75 driving dunk to get Devin Booker dunk package to get those quick drops with a 65 vertical. Now with this one, I have a higher layup, so I can end up getting all the best layup packages in the game, which if you do want to get float game on go, you get one more at 88. So if you want to work that around, you can. When it comes to the shooting, you have a 91 mid-range, 83 3-pointer, like I set it up on the last build, just like the ball control and speed with ball, 85 86, or you'll see 86 86 based on what you want to do if you even lower your pass accuracy. Then for the steal, we're going to have a 73 steal on this build, so we get interceptor on silver. If you do want a max plus 1 or max plus 2 that, you can to get it on Hall of Fame or a go. Now look, when it comes to the perimeter, I always tell y'all this now, if you're going to be trying to play perimeter defense, 82 is going to be the bare minimum. Bare minimum, so you can get a challenger on silver. That's literally what I'm telling you this now. If you want to be trying to get a contest or try to hope that you get a contest, 82 is the bare minimum. 83 is just, okay, I get pick dodger on silver, that's a plus, because you gotta also keep in mind that you're gonna play against builds that's taller than you, that's gonna be 7 foot, 6'10", that can still shoot over you. 6'8", you wanna at least have that 82, and then you know if you play against those 7'4" or 7 footers, just know your contest does not matter really. They don't even see you if you on a court trying to contest them. Like, it's very hard to get a contest on those 7'4" or even 7 footers against a 6'6" or even a 6'8" build. But when it comes to the name of the builds that you're going to end up getting, for that first build, I end up getting something actually cool, since you did get shades of SGA, Tyrese Halliburton, and Gilbert Arenas. You get called a two-way mid-range high flyer, as you're able to get on that rim and can finish around the hoop, but also shoot and dribble and do all that crazy stuff. Now, when it comes to the other one with the high layup, you're going to get called a two-way mid-range menace. Now, this is another one, like, it's slight things that you change that you can end up getting cool names. But I can't wait to show y'all boys my 6'6" build. Hey, man, make sure y'all boys drop a like on this video. Now look, don't forget, when it comes to that agility, you can just stop at 80 agility if you want to, if you don't care about those certain motion styles that I talked about. But if you want to end up going for a certain Jalen Suggs motion style, you need an 84 agility and like an 80 speed. Oh, I can't forget, make sure y'all boys subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so y'all don't miss out on the gameplay when it does drop. I'm gonna see y'all boys in the next one. Check out the video on the screen of me going crazy on my 6'10" flamethrower Kevin Durant build.